So, as you guys saw in the last, series, that just takes one hand, and now we're up, almost $9. So it's gotta have some patience. You sort of just play, and as I always say, keep on grinding, and then eventually you get somebody that wants to make a huge mistake. We'll call here. We got jacks, aces, kings, hearts. Not all aces or kings will actually win this for us, but I think it's enough hands that enough cards that we can definitely call. And now the only card that beats us is the ace of hearts. So the question is, do we raise here? If he has a jack of hearts, will he call or raise? Probably not. Let's just go ahead and call it good. I don't think he would have called with his hand there if I raised. Maybe if I min raise or something, but it's he bet large enough for me that I don't think raising had a lot of value. I suppose a queen of hearts call. Well, wait, now I don't even remember if the queen was the heart. I actually don't want to click the hand history because that's what timed me out last time. So guess we'll just see in the review session, which I will do for episode 9 this time tomorrow, and download the hands. Uh 7-1, sure. 9-8 offsuit, make a straight, maybe a full house, maybe nothing. Yeah, I do kind of want to talk about, like, one of the keys to me doing these 2-hour sessions is to show a little bit about how, whole, days of, quote unquote work can be kind of boiled down to like 1 or 2 hands, or, even a week of poker can come down to 2 hands. Pretty easily. If you only play an hour or 2 a day, the biggest few hands you have are the ones that matter. And like, if I was wrong about that, or if he had actually had a flush, I'd be down, double what I was when I started the session, and it looked really bad. But because things went our way, it looks all right now. But it's just something to, I guess it's just something to keep in mind that I can't really stress enough, because I think it really gets to people. That's the mental game that gets to people a lot. Why can't I pull this over? I'm gonna start tilting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there we go. It's not really how I wanted this to look, but that's okay. So now we're up $11, but we were down a little bit earlier, and oh well. So yeah, it's just a lot of times it comes down to 1 or 2 hands. The last session I did came down to 1 or 2 hands as well, and that's how it is a lot. So you just have to be patient. When it seems like things are slow and not much is going on, that happens a lot, and you need to be ready to sort of stay focused and keep your mental game sharp, so that when you get into those spots, you can kind of reason your way through and make a decent decision. Not saying I always do that, but that would be the goal. That would be awesome if, knock on wood, but it'd be awesome if all these sessions were winning sessions. Although it would give a little bit of a false hope for you guys watching, or at least the people watching who don't have quite as much experience, especially online. I don't want to give people the impression that you can just sort of hop on here for a couple hours and win every session you play. Because that's definitely not the case, no matter how good you are. Come on, somebody raise. There it is. Yeah, there's still no 200 NL zone. See if it's here in a month or so when I actually get up there. And the 100 NL I haven't seen running. So what do we do? Do we want to raise here? And I think we do. We want to raise here to kind of limit the pot, stack to pot ratio, so that it's a little bit easier for us to get all in with our jacks on a favorable flop. That's a very suspicious raise. That raise looks like a, I mean, what do I do here, right? Like, it looks like aces. That when people like min re-raise like that, he's going to shove this flop. I think I'm going to fold. I'm going to make a big fold here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is aces a lot. Just the way he's playing it is very much like, why wouldn't he shove if he had any sort of, hey, I want this guy to fold? Why did I call pre-flop if I was just going to fold? Well, for one, I was getting like 3-to-1 odds, and, if I hit a set, I know I'm going to get paid. I still don't have the odds there, but even if it was a slightly more favorable flop, I don't know what would be. I don't know. It's kind of strange though, right? Because the hand before that by the river, I'm calling a guy down that's betting 3 streets with a weak top pair in there. I flop an overpair and I fold, and I guess the reason is bet sizing. The one guy was making bet sizes that told me he wanted me to fold, and the whole strong is weak, weak is strong thing. There's a reason for it, right? I mean, it's not like there's no reason that was said in rounders 20 years ago, but the guy that's just min raising, opens under the gun, min raises your 3-bet, and then like bets out less than less than all in when he could, and make it less than the pot size. That is just an incredibly strong line. And I don't think he's doing it with ace king ever, or he's not doing it with ace king enough. That's really bad, right? Like, if he had made a pot size raise, he pretty much would have been all in pre-flop, and I would have called it off, because then he's representing ace king, aces, kings, queens, maybe even like an ace queen once in a while. Jacks still don't do well against that range at all, but I'm gonna call. If somebody shoves and I've got jacks and they're only 50 big blinds deep, I pretty much need to call there. And he's going to get all in with aces against, jacks, or sometimes worse. So if he does, I mean, and maybe, I don't know, maybe he had kings, maybe he had aces, maybe he was bluffing. But let's say he did have aces, then I don't like the way he played that, obviously, because I'm showing a lot of strength by 3-betting his under the gun open. And I think the only thing to do there would just be to go all in. Or, yeah, pretty much go all in. Let's go ahead and isolate this limper. A lot of limpers. I'm surprised that so many people are limping when you don't, when it's like more attractive not to play your bad hands. We'll check back here with our ace. Let's see if he really hates his hand. No, not that much. I think he has like a weak flush here. Oh, wow, he snapped it off. Wow, he calls it the 4 of diamonds? That big? I hate not having notes. That's kind of exactly what I thought he had as a weak diamond, and I thought that a weak diamond would fold there, but I guess not. Now that I say it out loud, expecting people at 10 no limit to fold a flush probably isn't the way to make money. Because they just won't do that. Actually, I don't know if I would have folded there. Maybe to an overbet. Actually, yeah, I think that would have been a decent play to overbet that pot. Guess that's easy to say once I've seen his hand, but and just like that, a couple hands later, we're, you know, back down to around the even mark. We do get to see a lot more hands than we normally would. Right now, there's only about 30 players in the player pool, so we are playing against the same players a lot. It's just very, very difficult to keep track of which ones they are. I'm not even great at, you know, keeping track of guys when I can take notes and noting what they do, and we don't see any of the hands that we're not involved in anyway, so it's just, I don't think there's a whole lot of point in trying. You know, if someone has a lot of chips, they're either very lucky or they somewhat might know what they're doing. You know, if somebody has 3 buy-ins, like this guy with 28, you know, almost $29, he probably has some idea kind of what he's doing. So when we 3-bet somebody who's deep, we want to make it a little bit bigger than we normally would. And that's to sort of make a more threaten his stack a little bit more. We'll just make it a couple big blinds bigger since we've got a squeeze going anyway. I'm not sure I like that call. Maybe I needed to make it bigger. Darn it. That is just a terrible flop for our hand. I don't want to go bluffing off our stack into 2 players. I don't see how I'm gonna take this hand down. That's frustrating too that he bets out so small, but out of position against 2 players, I'm just gonna give up on it and move